Hello, welcome again to another devotion today on the life of Jesus. We've been doing this for about a week or so, and just some brief devotion today. I've titled it from Matthew 15. I've titled it Jesus on the Outside. Jesus on the outside. I think you'll see what I mean. You know, Jesus, for the most part, he turned the religious world of his day pretty well upside down, and a lot of the religious community didn't like him. Didn't like what he had to say, and it's no different here in Matthew chapter 15. When Jesus was approached by some Pharisees and some scribes that came up from Jerusalem to counter what he was teaching, and so they asked Jesus a question. They go, why do they break the traditions of the elders? You know, and they give an example to Jesus of how they're breaking the traditions of the elders. For they don't wash their hands when they eat. Yeah, you heard it right, friends, right here. I mean, it's you're starting to wonder, what are your priorities here? And of course, Jesus, like he's done many times before, answers a question with a question. And he goes, well, why do you break God's commandment because of your traditions? You know, it was a tit for a tat. And then Jesus quotes from the prophet Isaiah, and he goes, hypocrites. Because of your tradition, Isaiah prophesied correctly when he said this, that this people honor me with their lips, but not with their heart. They worship me, or God. They worship God in vain, teaching as doctrines human commands and traditions. Now, you know, in the Ten Commandments, or the 10 words that we find in Exodus when Moses went up on Mount Sinai, got the 10 commandments. One of the commandments is don't take the Lord's name in vain. Don't be useless. Don't be careless when you use it. I honestly, dear friends, don't believe it's talking about cussing. I mean, I grew up thinking that, and I'm not saying it doesn't have something to do with it, with cursing and so forth, but you know, by and large, really what they're meaning is exactly what Jesus is saying right here. It's exactly what prophet Isaiah was saying that Jesus was quoting, that, hey, they worship God in vain, in a useless manner, in a careless way, according to the traditions of men that are trying to worship God by their own design and their own intent, instead of following Jesus and doing life his way from the heart. Everything's about the outside. You know, and Jesus said, listen and understand this. It's not what goes into the mouth that defiles a person, but it's what that comes out of the mouth that defiles a person. And so we're all humans, by and large, by nature, are consumed with the outside much of the time. I mean, just look at what we do when we get up in the mornings. At least most of us, we get in front of a mirror and try to make ourselves presentable, no matter how we're living, no matter what's going on inside our heart. You know, and we do the same in religion. You know, we've taken religion and created this outward appearance. Just looking throughout history, look at the big cathedrals that men have built that sometimes took decades to build, with incredible artistic murals and cosmetics and the traditions and the hats you wear and the robes and you know, we're presenting this image of what worship looks like, even in the 21st century. I mean, we've got churches spending thousands and thousands of dollars to put on a stage presence that we hope and design and intend for them to bring the people in to experience this atmosphere that we've created. And we'll spend thousands of dollars to do that. I'm talking about stage presence many times that will equal the greatest shows in Las Vegas. Monster screens, and I just shake my head. What are we doing? What are we doing? Lord, what are we doing? Doing all this outward show to bring to the world a Jesus who had no place to lay his head. Jesus said, listen, the people that really, really need to know the Lord and to follow Jesus, to know God for all it's worth, they're out there. They're out there in our communities. And by and large, they're not going to come to your building and watch your show. They're just not. You're going to have to go to them. You're going to have to live Jesus from your heart in front of them, sometimes for quite a while, before they might then notice something that they want instead of what the world is already giving them. This is something to think about, dear friends. Is Jesus just on the outside, or is he really, truly on the inside? Till next time, something to think about. God bless.